Yo, what's up, y'all? Quick walk around overview on the Vibe Shearwater 125. Had it out several times already, starting to get it dialed in, starting to learn the ins and outs of this kayak. This kayak, it's not a beginner kayak. There's lots of moving parts, lots of different variations, and ways to paddle, pedal, or power this boat, seating positions and all that sort of thing. So I'm gonna go over it as best I can real quick out here in the backyard while I got a few minutes. Took it out in the Etowah last weekend. Check out some of those Etowah river videos. That was a 2-day camp and paddle, 16 miles. Yeah, check out those videos. Also, please hit that like button, subscribe, and if I say anything or mention anything that piques your interest, don't hesitate to post a comment below. So, all right, here we go. Shearwater 125. In a nutshell, how do I feel like this kayak has performed so far? It is performed as advertised, maybe even better. I guess the long wait, you know, I pre-ordered this in December 5th or so. The long wait will start to get at you after a while, and you start to worry. And, you know, my worries have been dissolved after, you know, having the opportunity to get out on the water, pedal it, paddle it, use the Bixby motor, use the gravity rudder, use the Summit seat, the Summit perch, like the whole 9 yards, X-Drive. This is a badass kayak, guys. Pardon my French, but it just is. So here we go. Just a new beginner's kind of overview of things to look for, kind of how I've configured it, and just general information like that. So we'll go ahead and walk through. Now for the Etowah River trip, I didn't use this this pad here. I went ahead and left that in the car. That's because I needed I needed that to be a gear storage location. I've got an Action Packer bin, and I just strapped that on there. One thing I noticed while doing that is it's real hard to get bungee straps, like the little, you know, hook on a bungee strap through these eyelets right here. So I'm going to be kind of kicking around other options on that. But if you're just fishing for the day, you don't need to strap down any, you know, large storage bins or anything like that. So this pad is perfectly fine. You can use this to tuck your X-Drive under, or tuck your paddle under as well too. This is for keeping your rod tips down and out of the way. Let's see. So this guy right here, for the time being, I am just going to use this pod as kind of a storage gear box. Let's get this out of there. So you can use this to mount your battery and your transducer. It's got the mounts for the transducer at the bottom, and you just pop it in. I'm not going to do that. The battery that I have is a little wide and doesn't fit in this, so I'm just going to use this as a bungee and anchor box for the time being. So just this is a yak lead tide line, an extra one that I have here, and then a rope and 2.5 pound anchor, or maybe it's a 3-pound anchor, not sure, in the bottom there, and some of these rubber bungees. These are the bungees that I was using. Those clips are really tough to get to fit in there. So those are the bungees that I was using to secure some gear. Put you back down. But that's on there. These little mounts right here are rubber, and they're a lot like your cooler latches, right? With like a solid piece of rubber that goes through. So that's what those remind me of. They should last a long time. They've been lasting a long time on coolers for years. So really like that, that feature there. So I've got a Stealth rod holder mounted to the front here with the long arm. And the idea on the long arm is to be able to mount it up front, but lay it back. This is another ram ball, and then this is my camera mount. So when you guys see the forward facing camera in my videos, it's coming from that mount right there. I like it where it's at. It's really versatile, easy to get my hands on it, and also I can just kind of just move it around, you know, just grab it, move it. Makes a nice little camera mount there. It's very versatile for that, easy to deal with. So I like that there. This is the X-Drive pod. Probably Hobie owners would find this very familiar. These are your latches. One thing you want to do is make sure that this stays clean. Make sure you don't get any dirt or grime or anything in here that's going to hinder these latches from holding your X-Drive down. It's very solid construction. These guys right here are on real tight. They work very, very well. There's no wiggle at all in the drive, and once you have it latched down, there's no wiggle in the housing there either. So yeah, kudos to Vibe on getting that part of it right. These little side standing perches, I haven't tried these yet, but I've got another trip coming up down to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we will be flats fishing out there. So gonna put the little side standing pads to use, as well as the Summit perch. I'm kind of a bigger, tallish guy, so I haven't stood on the perch yet. Still practicing all that. I have sat on the perch, and it is super comfy. And you get a good, good bumper up there, 16 inches or so off of the deck of the boat. So that can mean a lot when you're increasing your angle to see into the water to see fish. So we're gonna be putting that to the test down in Gulf Shores here next week. The hand steering rudder here works great. One thing you want to do if you're just now starting to use this is use this brake. This brake is going to help you keep it tight, so it's not going to swing around on you. You don't want it too tight, you just want it tight enough to where it'll stay put. So that brake works really, really good for that. Let's see, Yak Attack AR rod holder there. I really like those. I prefer those over your ram ball mounted rod holders. I do a lot of bass fishing and freshwater fishing, but I also do a lot of saltwater fishing, bait fishing for big predator fish. I almost enjoy that more than I do the bass fishing. So ram ball mounted rod holders are a no-no. Big giant fish, cobia, mackerel, sharks, they can yank that right upside down, and you can lose a rod that way. So if you're going to live bait fish or troll in the ocean, outside of just bass, you want something like a Stealth rod holder. This one's got two mounting hand screws right here, so it is in there, not going anywhere at all. So you want something to where you can set your line and that fish will take off with it, but it won't take off with your rod or your rod holder. So same thing here with the Yak Attack AR rod holder. As you can see, there's no ram ball there for it to fail. So you can set live lines with that rod holder as well too. That's a really good product from Yak Attack. Up front, this big orange strap up here, this is my yak lead. I started developing these this year. Actually, we've been making these for about 20 years out of rope and paracord, whatever we could find really. There was nothing out on the market, absolutely nothing like this that mounts to the front handle the way it does, that's stitched the way it is, that's made of this same material. Absolutely nothing. So I decided to make this product, bring it out to the market this year. This is a production model. I have a little sewing machine that I use to make prototypes to get it the way I wanted to. And this is the production model of the Yak Lead Tide line. As you can see, those stitches there are solid. This has got over 1,000-pound test on it. So it can handle whatever, you can load your boat up twice its capacity and tow it around with this lead. On the sand, on the mud, doesn't matter. It's strong enough to really do a lot of the heavy lifting. D-ring clip right there in the middle. You can clip dry bags to it, clip rods, you can clip whatever you want to secure that you're working with in your lap at the time and you don't want it to fall through the hole or fall off the boat. You can also clip it to, like, loop it around and clip itself, oops, like that, to docks or trees or other boats or whatever. So this is a really great product for controlling your boat, porting, launching. And I'm 40 years old, guys, so like my knees and ankles are not in great shape. It's a little bit tough for me to even from a squatting position to get up sometimes, and my knees pop and ache. So this product really makes it easier on my old 40-year-old body to do things like stand up, sit down. It's much more stable that way. The Shearwater is a super stable boat anyway, but that just gives that added point of contact that gives me the control I want on the boat. So that's the Yak Lead Tide line. You can check those out at yaklead.com, or if you're an Amazon guy, got a listing up on Amazon, so you can purchase the Yak Lead off of Amazon as well too. But it just loops right onto itself. It'll fit any kayak, any boat, anything where there's a grab handle, really. John boats, jet skis, personal watercraft, those little personal pontoon boats, all that stuff it'll fit. It just makes life on the water easier for an older guy like me. There are 2 paddle keepers on the outside. These right here can be used as paddle keepers or rod keepers as your rods go up under these flaps here. Access hatches, I haven't messed with those too much, but one thing I would mention if you're a new Shearwater owner is get you a screwdriver and go through the entire boat and make sure that all of your hardware is snug. You don't want it to be loose. You don't want to over tighten it, but you do want the seal to go all the way around here. You want to make sure that these all your little hardware pieces are nice and snug, nice and firm, not wobbling, not moving around. Same thing with your rod holders here. And that's just, that's with any boat. Seems after a few years of use of any kayak, one thing that you got to do every season is go through all that hardware, make sure it's still good, and make sure that it's secure. And that's going to prevent you from breaking things or losing things. And it's going to keep you, whoa, I was just standing right there. Came out of that tree right there. Guess it's my lucky day. But that's just going to keep your boat in better condition. All right, moving over to the back here, paddle keepers. These are little storage areas. They fit a tackle box perfectly. Also fit the Bixby battery. Though I don't like to use the Bixby battery there, I like to use it back here. So it's got one of these on both sides. Cup holders on both sides. Those are great. This cup holder fits my speakers perfectly. Fits right in there. So super stoked about that. Jamming some tunes out on the water. So the Shearwater seat, I'm going to go ahead and pull that off real quick. So, well, let's just go through all the different positions of the seat. So that's going to be your mid position if you are, or mid to high position if you are pedaling your kayak. You're going to want a little bit of an angle. So what you can do, pull that up. You can even do this while on the water, sitting in it. Flip this up, and now you're in the high-end pedaling position. Make sure your clips are secured. That's going to hold it in. No clips in the back. It's just going to sit back there because this is going to be where the weight's going down on. Now there is a low seat position. Here, I'll give you a back up of that. So there is a low seat position. We'll go ahead and flip her in there. She'll flip these down, pull that out, and as you can see, there's a low spot down there for the seat bar. So we're just going to move it just like that. Flip this high seat position down. Clips. Clips. There we go. And that's going to be your lowest seat position. It fits in there real snug, real sturdy. It's not just sitting on the boat. If you flip your boat over, your seat's not going anywhere at all. You could travel with your seat up there as well too. Though I may, just to be sure, put an extra bungee over it. Wiring harness for the Bixby is all set up. It's all set up and ready to go. Gravity rudder. As you can see, you could travel with this. It's got the caps on it. Gravity rudder is right here. This is the piece that comes from Bixby. It's real easy to install. I got another video on that install if you're interested in it. Works great out on the water though. So I've used a piece of tape to hold it down, using some zip ties here just to secure the line on these two Yak Attack loops. And just like that. Now when I fish with it, I'll go ahead and put a milk crate in the back here, and that's what I'll keep the Bixby battery in. So there we go. Quick walkthrough of the Vibe Shearwater 125. Y'all let me know if you have any questions or comments, and take care.